Celine, where going?
You can't say we're a friend now, Celine.
We have to take on the road.
Yeah, man, we have to take on the same way. All right, Lord, thank you so much for this day.
Me, I do the work.
Yeah.
And the people, them accept it.
Clarendon, Mandeville. But now we get to go into the inner city of Kingston.
I can't wait to learn more as we go across Jamaica into different churches to understand what they do.
Many strides, one dream, many heartbeats, one pulse. Sagicor, celebrating Jamaican success. The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, JPS and OUR under pressure as electricity bills soar nationwide. Record-breaking $12 billion drug bust in Havendale. And Factories Corporation of Jamaica says expect more urban centers. Also this evening, Fisherfolk buoyed by Grant. In the business report, the new wave of construction in Jamaica. And in sports, Jamaica medals at 2024 Carifta Triathlon Championship.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Monday, August 19, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. The Jamaica Public Service, JPS, and the Office of Utilities Regulation, the OUR, are facing mounting pressure as electricity bills soar across the nation.
Now, consumers are demanding answers after receiving shockingly high bills this month. Our reporter Ramon Gordon has more on the growing controversy.
More on JPS put a limit per my meter. If the bill go over X amount, you just lock it off, no man.
JPS customers island-wide are reporting anomalies with their most recent bills. The claim is universal. Unexplained increases. One user on X shared their bill had nearly doubled, increasing to nearly $12,000 compared to his previous bill's $6,587. Another JPS customer shared their bill with the island's energy minister, who in turn posted it to social media. That customer has been asked to pay a $70,000 difference over last month's bill, a request even more egregious when it's revealed that the customer uses solar energy.
I know of one situation where a community center in St. Elizabeth was completely destroyed. The billing cycle shows that they had power 2 days before burial, and they have not had power since. And they have a bill for 71,000 Jamaican dollars, which is absolutely impossible.
Vaz's JLP recently condemned the utility provider, urging the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, to consider a bill freeze during the current cycle to investigate the seemingly unjust charges. Retired President of the National Consumers League, Joyce Campbell, is as indignant. However, she's directing her ire at the utility regulator.
The OER, I don't want to cuss them on the ear. Them is what Cliff said. The minute the hurricane struck, OUR as the regulator should jump on board to see how they're going to regulate the JPS, to see how people get back light, how they're going to access the dangerous places and work along with them to protect the consumer. That's their role. Oh, they have even before this capacity, they had failed long ago. I never agreed plenty things with them, though.
The PNP's Dennis Meadows is critical of the Jamaica Public Service Company's billing practices, suggesting a possible commission of inquiry into JPS operations. But
when a thing is privatized, you cannot go as a government to tell the people them what to do because you give them private license to operate. All the government is as a shareholder. The company has the whole thing because they privatize it, which was wrong.
CVM TV News contacted JPS for clarity on the matter. However, we were told a statement is being prepared. CVM News also contacted the OUR, which confirmed its receipt of a letter from the island's energy minister. Those details, however, are sparse.
You're a regulator, you're the name regulator. That's why we have you there to protect the consumer. Because we are in a free market economy. Therefore, but you must have a regulator. And if you are to regulate to see that the consumer get what is right, you must do your work.
This is a developing story. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
Meanwhile, the opposition spokesman on energy, Philip Powell, has issued a word of caution to the JPS ahead of another election cycle. He says the company has been derelict in its duties of maintaining its infrastructure and adequately preparing for eventualities like Hurricane Beryl. The politician adds, under a PNP government, JPS must either shape up or stand to lose big. Here's Nika Lewis with more.
We are far more caring of our people, and the JPS will have to reform itself if it's going to maintain a license after 2027.
The former energy minister insists under a PNP government, the JPS would also be under strict supervision to ensure maintenance, among other public duties, are properly carried out. He told supporters in Central St. Mary's Sunday that the power company has neglected aspects of its duties, especially ahead of Hurricane Beryl.
When I looked around and saw the light posts, so many of them shattered, broken in the middle of the road, I have to ask myself the question, why so many light posts came down? Many of them were rotting. Many of them were not being maintained properly. And it goes to show that the regulation that now exists is not working because the JPS must be made to maintain their infrastructure better. There was not enough preparation for the hurricane. Too many trees were surrounding the lines. And the people in St. Elizabeth are suffering. That can't happen under our watch.
Powell is adamant the Andrew Holness administration is not serious about the needs of the poor, citing the enormous electricity bills many Jamaicans are now struggling to pay.
This government knows that the license that the JPS has comes to an end in 2.5 years' time. But I don't business because they should be using the time now to plan ahead, to start to negotiate with JPS. Because it cannot be business as usual. Last week, I went to St. Elizabeth in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. And I was amazed to see what has happened to the JPS infrastructure in St. Elizabeth.
He assures that if the opposition becomes the government led by Mark Golding, a first priority will be reducing energy costs through solar power.
We want each of you to have the power in your own hands so you can put up your own solar system on your roof. And you can say to JPS, if you're charging me 40 cents, I will take things into my hand and put power upon my roof and be able to generate it at less than half the price. You are going to have the power, no longer JPS. They will have to come to you and beg you to come back.
Nika Lewis, CVM News.
Now to a major developing story. 5 men all over the age of 40 have been charged in relation to a recent drug bust in Havendale, St. Andrew, where authorities seized $12 billion worth of illegal substance. More details from Britannia Witter.
On Monday, DCP Fitz Bailey announced that 5 men have been formally charged following a major drug bust in Havendale, St. Andrew. The operation, which occurred on August 8, resulted in the seizure of cocaine valued at approximately 12 billion Jamaican dollars. The men identified as 57-year-old Clive Roy Davis, 58-year-old Colin Ricketts, 51-year-old George Sterling, 41-year-old Clayton Peart, and 72-year-old Junior Aldane will face multiple charges.
The accused, who have been interviewed in the presence of their lawyers, remain in police custody after they were charged on Friday, August 16, 2024, for possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, trafficking in cocaine, and conspiracy.
Authorities from the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division are continuing their probe to uncover international links.
Regional and international partners are continuing investigation into this matter and are actively pursuing other leads to further dismantle other criminal networks.
Law enforcement officials have emphasized their commitment to combating crime, stating that they have made significant progress since the start of the year.
The Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division continues to make significant impact on illicit firearms and drug trafficking. Since the start of 2024, the division's interdiction efforts have resulted in the seizure of 86 illegal firearms, 1,154 rounds of ammunition, 20,074 kilograms of ganja, approximately 67 kilograms of cocaine, with an estimated street value of just over $2 million US. This figure does not include the most recent cocaine bust.
DCP Bailey says 168 people of different nationalities have been arrested on drug-related charges so far. The drug bust, one of the largest in the nation's history, represents a disruption to local trafficking network. A court date has not been finalized as yet. Britannia Witter, CVM News.
Stay with us. More to come from CVM News at 7 after the break.
Dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Buy a bag of Hypro feeds and win a bag of cash in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Hypro is back with another chance for you to win a share of millions in the Farm to Fortune promotion. Try for the grand prize of $3 million. Weekly prizes of $100,000 plus daily prizes. To enter, buy any qualifying Hypro feed and text the entry code in the bag for your chance to win a bag of cash in the Hypro Farm to Fortune promotion.
Watch your pocket grow. Watch it grow with Hypro.
Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Welcome back and thanks so much for staying with us. Now, it's a month after the hurricane and many fisherfolk are still finding it hard to survive. The loss of equipment for them means the loss of sales. However, that's about to change as they've been gifted vouchers and additional assistance from the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Here's Trisha Gay Kelly with more.
It's a tough time for everyone, but an even tougher one for fisherfolk who are barely seeing the fruits of their labor since Hurricane Beryl. And over in St. Elizabeth, one of the hardest hit parishes, fishers from Parity explain it has not been easy in the past few weeks.
The hurricane will damage us. My fish pot that we have, I lost most of them. To be honest, I lost maybe 75% of the fish pot.
Even though Beryl came and she destroyed a lot, I'm a
I'm grateful for a lot of things, mostly for getting back my fish wire so that I can start to go back out there to achieve something.
A common complaint is that their fishing tools are being damaged and some even destroyed each time they attempt to get a catch. Well, their calls for assistance did not fall on deaf ears as Fisheries Minister Floyd Green ran to their aid.
What we would have seen, especially with our artisanal fishers, our smaller fishers, is that they would have set their fish traps, their pots, and when they go back out after burial, they have not found them. These pots are made largely of mesh wire. So what we're handing out today are 2 rolls of wire to each fisher so that they can go back out and start the process of building their pots. This is important so they can start their recovery efforts.
And the fishers could not be more thankful. Smiles of gratitude covered their faces as they praised the ministry for its assistance.
A big thank you to the minister and the fishery for giving me back at least 2 rolls of wire. Here's my voucher where I can start back, so at least I have something to look forward to.
I'm very happy that our fisheries through Ministry of Agriculture, they are here today and they really give us a nice voucher that we can go and get some assistance to get us back up and running.
I give thanks for the voucher that we get to make back a start in the fishing industry. We give thanks and praise to the minister.
Minister Green, alongside the National Fisheries Authority, NFA, were able to locate fisherfolk in despair and help where possible. He says the relief program will span other impacted communities as well.
We have identified our worst hit areas that span several parishes, including Clarendon, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and St. Catherine. And we're starting by giving our fishers some input so they can get wire, get back out there and to do what they love. This is a part of our overarching response program. We have identified that we have to move quickly to get our fishers, to get our farmers back out there so that we can ensure that we are food secure.
Parity community residents are the first recipients of vouchers and additional resources from the ministry. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Some good news there for fisherfolk. And post-burial recovery efforts in St. Mary are also showing significant progress, with most utility services returning to normal. Britannia Witter has this story.
Hurricane Beryl came and went, but many Jamaicans are still recovering from its effect, some faster than others. The St. Mary Western constituency is one such area, with local authorities reporting significant progress in recovery efforts. Member of Parliament for St. Mary Western, Robert Montague, says the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, reports that only 2 areas remain without electricity, promising to have all communities back to full restoration shortly.
I commit to you that I will continue my efforts and work to ensure that these communities get light and power as quickly as possible.
At the same time, the National Water Commission, MWC, also successfully restored all pumps and is actively engaged in major leak repairs across the constituency. Additionally, the long-awaited Mason Hall water project, which started on Friday, has seen almost 100 lengths of 6-inch pipes being laid. Furthermore, teams from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security are completing their fieldwork with intentions to issuing checks by September 2024. As for the farmers in the communities, the Member of Parliament is urging them to get in contact with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority.
RADA has their extension officers out in the field completing their assessment with farmers. And they have asked me to urge you, if you know any farmer, to encourage them to come into RADA and be registered. It makes things a lot easier and quicker in times like these. If they don't know you, it is difficult sometimes to get to you.
Institutions like clinics and hospitals are all opened and offering full services. Repair works have also begun in 4 schools in the area. Britannia Whittle, CVM News.
Well, students across Jamaica were celebrated on Thursday at the Burger King Scholarship Awards ceremony in Kingston. With an increase in the funding pool for this year's awards, key stakeholders are hoping the program will create greater opportunities for primary, secondary and tertiary students alike. Courtney Lewis has the details.
45 recipients of awards through the Burger King Scholarship Program will be blazing to success as per this year's headlining theme. Keynote speaker, head of the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association, Keith Wellington, highlighted accountability and hard work as a crucial part of success.
Your success must be built on work and integrity. And that is where I want to leave, because whatever you may accomplish, whatever you may achieve, whatever success you are driving towards, if you are not working for it, if you do not maintain your integrity, there's nothing to feel good about. You must earn it. You must earn it honestly. You must earn it knowing that you did it with integrity.
He also shared a mandate for educators to inspire change for students.
And as educators, I will tell you that our major aim now is to educate our young people to be change agents. So we are no longer preparing you through our education to fit into society. We are trying to educate you to change society.
He was joined by Education Minister Favour Williams, who further celebrated the partnership to foster innovation and growth among students.
By combining our efforts and resources, we create solutions that neither of us could achieve alone. So the partnership we celebrate today demonstrates how pooling resources, expertise, and commitment can lead to extraordinary outcomes. It shows that when we work together, we can optimize resources, share risks, and drive progress in ways that benefit everyone.
She says the donation is beneficial as back-to-school funding may be difficult to attain.
I know in a World Bank study, it says parental contribution to education is quite significant. And so any help that parents and their children can get from corporate Jamaica is welcome.
Over $10 million in scholarships was awarded to students with achievements in academics and sports across varying grades. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
And CVM News at 7 will continue in a moment.
It, want it, get it at Courts. Relax on a 3-piece living room set as low as $54,999. Enjoy delicious meals around a dining set as low as $58,399. Watch the games on a smart TV as low as $22,999. Cook it, chill it, or wash it with a major appliance as low as $33,999. Plus, free gifts with select purchases. Shop today and pay later. Courts, bringing value home. Offers end August 31. Conditions apply.
Me, busy as usual, so I don't have no time for whole heap of paperwork. That's why I downloaded and signed up for my One JN Passport app. It's a whole new level of convenience and access to services within the JN Financial Group. Just a few taps on my smartphone and box. I can update my personal information, open a JN Bank savings account, and even apply for an unsecured loan. Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The One JN Passport app. JN will help you find a way.
What's your story? What's your sign? Who dreamers? Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not to go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem. We want some new era. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. You lie! You work till you weak. It was pandemonium. Country people can relate to me, I talk about.
What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself.
Man United, you know. I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished? Yes, we finished.
Uncut is brought to you by Flow and Guinness.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Here's a recap of our major stories. JPS and the Office of Utilities Regulation are both under mounting pressure as electricity bills soar across the nation. Consumers are demanding answers after receiving shockingly high charges. 5 people have been...
Jamaicans would have seen for themselves or heard from others that a wave of construction is occurring on the island, and you are likely to agree that keeping up can be dizzying. Winthrop Wellington, a hotelier that moved from New York to Jamaica almost 2 decades ago and now hosts the popular real estate-focused YouTube channel Throp, explored the potentially far-reaching implications of the appetite in the diaspora and what it could mean for the Jamaican real estate market.
So generally speaking, just real estate in Jamaica, I think there continues to be a bright future. And I think it's important to be purposeful about how we manage this future and how we manage the opportunities that are before us. And I think, and I can say from my perspective, like never before, since I've moved here, I've been here 18 years, have I seen so many people interested in moving to Jamaica and moving back to Jamaica, specifically diasporans who are living abroad that are looking to retire here and from all over. Like I said, I've never seen it like this before, especially if you're looking at the first 5 or 10 years that I was here. And I think it's amazing. I think it's beautiful.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, during a recent groundbreaking ceremony in Portland for the Boundbrook Urban Centre, estimated to cost in excess of $4 billion, provided a glimpse of the blueprints for the way forward for public-facing development from the GOJ's perspective.
We understand the nexus between infrastructure and the economy. We understand the nexus between infrastructure and the security. And therefore, whatever we do, we have these considerations in the forefront of our minds when we develop policy. There is one other critical element that we must consider, the nexus between infrastructure and climate. We will fulfill the dream of Jamaica as the paradise.
According to Burita Investment CEO Ramon Small Ferguson, Paradise 2.0 is loading at unprecedented speeds due to a combination of factors internally and externally.
One thing that is not well known by some Jamaicans, but is well known by our counterparts in the region, and is now spreading like wildfire all over the world, is how amazing our framework is for public-private partnerships, right? We have an enviable, well-structured framework to enable collaboration between the government and the private sector. Jamaica is now poised to receive significant investment, right? From the government of Jamaica, who now has capacity because it has so much less debt, from the private sector of Jamaica, who now has the confidence to partner with the government to build this country, and from onlookers overseas who are excited by what we have been able to do here in Jamaica and what we plan to do, and are eager to invest. And Minister Hill will tell you about that.
He certainly has been, including quite recently at the Jampro Export Max Cohort 4 launch.
It's a good time to tell you what investing community looks like. Latest UNCTAD numbers I got from JAMPRO tells me that last year, foreign direct investment fell by 2% across the world. In Africa, it fell by 3%. In the Caribbean, it fell by 1%. In Jamaica, it went up by 35% to 471 million.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
Stay with us for social media and more after this break.
We are bucket together, it puts you in a good mood. Every moment we share is finger licking good.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
John Mark!
Celine, what going? We can't say we're a friend now. Celine. We have to take on the road.
Yeah, man, we have to take on the same way. All right, Lord, thank you so much for this day.
Me, I do the work. Yeah. And the people, them accept it. Clarendon, Mandeville. But now we get to go into the inner city of Kingston.
I can't wait to learn more as we go across Jamaica into different churches to understand what they do.
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not to go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem.
We want some new era.
Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. You lie!
You work till a week.
It was pandemonium.
Country people can relate to me, I talk about. What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself. Man United, you know. I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flow and Guinness.
Welcome back. Wondering what's trending on social media? Let's find out.
So, what's trending in our local social media spaces? Energy Minister Darrell Vaz has expressed a concern over widespread complaints from Jamaica Public Service JPS customers about significantly higher electricity bills in the current billing cycle. Despite some customers being without power for an extended period due to Hurricane Beryl, they have received substantially increased bills. Here are some of your reactions. At Razor Thin Blade writes, "They showed me as using more energy than usual. Yet, I wasn't even in Jamaica, and I live alone, and nobody has access to the house. And then, those fuel charges, 64% of the bill for fuel?" At Jerome 3797 says, "They increased the fuel charge as a means to hide the increase because they know majority of the customers don't scrutinize their bill, and just look at the total amount to pay." At Call Me Nas shares, "Only when it affects people close to y'all wanna speak up. Get rid of the monopoly." At Terika_Noxid posts, "Same thing with my bill, from 15 Gs to 55 Gs. JPS is crazy." At Sweetstuff_Boutique_JA comments, "They are charging us for the extensive repairs they've had to be doing." And that's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and the CVM_television on Instagram. I'm Ronaldo Adams.
And we now go further afield with the regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says the report of the National Advisory Committee on Constitutional